Hey guys, it's Aubrey from the Coastal Confidence, and today I'm going to talk about a few facts that you probably didn't know about blogging and bloggers. I'm going to start by setting up, which is a fact that you probably don't know, is that setting up camera equipment and stuff like that takes a lot more time than you think. So I'm going to set up our little area for shooting, and then I'm just going to jump right in super casually. I just kind of thought of this video last minute, but I think when I started blogging, there was a lot of questions that I had, and I never wanted to feel like I hate using this word, like harassing or bugging, I guess is a better word, any other bloggers by asking them these questions. But this is kind of just the thoughts that were going through my mind when I started this career, when I started my blog, and kind of the facts that a lot of people don't know or don't think of when it comes to blogging. And we're gonna jump right in. I'm gonna be running around setting up this little thing, and then we will go from there. First and foremost, something you probably don't know about blogging is I always lose my camera equipment. And I don't lose it. When I say lose, I mean I lose it because my mom moves it. And I have to check every room to see if I know where she put it. Downwards and onwards, we shall go. I'll strap you guys in, and then we'll just have a little casual conversation. Because again, if let's say you're a finance major, right, and you're going into finance, then you get an internship, you have tons of people that you can reach out to for questions, and it's super easy to kind of figure out your career. But as a blogger, like, who do you ask those questions? Like, if you're trying to be a blogger, like even today I'll have questions and I'm like, I don't want to email another blogger and be like, hi, can you help me with like my blog work? But if you guys ever have questions, please email me, because that's something that I love to talk about. And I very distinctively remember Kelly in the City. I'll leave her Instagram below. She was a blogger. And I emailed her asking a question about coding, actually, when I first started. And she emailed me back this huge email of exactly what she did for her coding. And I mean, I was like, I'll never forget that email, because I just thought it was so kind for her to take time and email me that. And I always want to give back to the blogging community too. So please, if you have questions, email me. I really do get back to everyone. And if I haven't gotten back to you in a week, email me again. Just means that I probably read your email while I was like in the Dunkin' drive-in. Who knows? Okay. Strap you guys in, and then let's get to this. Okay, I found a quiet place to sit down so we can actually talk it out. First and foremost, if you don't know me, I'm Aubrey Yandel from the blog The Coastal Confident. It is a New England lifestyle blog, and it's all about embracing the charms and traditions of a New England lifestyle. It is something I've been working on for over 6 years. I think I started it originally in 2012, and I took it more seriously, I guess, or officially started it in 2014 when I hired on a coding company to actually code in the site. But I started off of WordPress, so I started on a free platform, did it for about a year and a half, 2 years, and decided I really liked it. And I really started at that time around 2014, 13, saw people doing it full time. And I thought, oh my God, what a cool way to share my experience with everyone. So around 2014 is when I started seeing that you could really make this a full-time career. And that's when I decided to invest more money in it by coding. So I hired on someone to code out my site. I hired on some people consulting. I hate to say consulting, but like I would pay to go and meet with local photographers to learn about photography. I hired a local photographer at my college for like $25 an hour. I invested in camera equipment. So around 2014 is when I started to financially invest in my blog. And now it's 2018 and I am doing it full time, and it's something that I love, love, love. I'm so lucky to be doing this because I get to meet so many people and connect with all you guys, which is something that I'm really passionate about. And again, my blog is about New England lifestyle. I started it because I went to the University of San Diego, And it was just amazing how many people had either never been to New England or knew anything about it. And I would get all these crazy questions. I had people thinking it was like straight out of Gossip Girl, and then I had people thinking that it was straight out of Gilmore Girls. So I had two extreme platforms of what people thought Connecticut was. So I used the Coastal Confidence as a platform to showcase what New England was like to my friends. So during vacations, like holiday vacations, I would come home to Connecticut instead of going to like Cancun or any of those spring break destinations. Come back to Connecticut, I'd shoot a ton of photos, go back to California, put it on my blog and show my friends and be like, this is what my home's like in winter, this is what my home's like in spring, summer, etc. And then I just loved doing it. I was connecting with so many cool people, and I think it was also a way to feel more of a community, because in California it was hard to relate to some people because a lot of them didn't know what my home looked like, or a lot of them like didn't go to Dunkin' Donuts or didn't go skiing. Like in California, they've never been skiing, but they know surfing. So it was nice to have this platform to connect with other people around United States who were either outside of New England and wanted to talk about memories of New England, or who were inside New England and just wanted to chit chat about how awesome our little area of the country is. So that is kind of, I just want to make sure I'm still in focus. Yeah, that is kind of the backstory of why I started my blog, how I started my blog, and where I am today. So I really wanted to make this video to kind of give you guys insight, because something I really struggled with when I first started blogging was, who do I ask questions to? And I said this earlier in a clip, if you're a finance major, you know exactly who you ask. You can email anyone on the finance team, talk to finance professors. But as a blogger, walking through blogging with my college professors, we were both learning, because it really isn't, now it's an even bigger career, but back then in 2014, there were only, I feel like, a few full-time bloggers. So having someone to ask questions to was something that I really struggled with, and I always want to be here for you guys as someone that you can ask questions to. So I figured this video will start that conversation. And if you have any questions, do email me, or follow me on Instagram and DM me, because I really do value the communication I have with you all. And our crew is debating starting a mentoring program where we take on a blogger once a month, or one blogger for 3 months a year, and help them build their following and their site and answer any questions they might have. But let's just jump into it. I have about 5 things written on my iPhone that I either struggled with or had questions with when I first started blogging. And this really isn't a blogger's tip video. This is just kind of things to know if you're interested in blogging or starting and just kind of confused. So one thing that's good to know is everything is edited. So when you're looking at images on Instagram, when you first start, it can get like really overwhelming and you're like, how do I make such great content? Look at these other content creators. Just know that everything is edited, and it's mostly edited in Lightroom. And that's something that I struggled with a long time when I first started. So I thought everything was edited in Photoshop. If you use Lightroom or Photoshop, Photoshop takes so much longer to use than Lightroom in my perspective. So I was editing all images individually in Photoshop. It was taking me hours. And about a year into full-time blogging, so in like 2016, someone emailed me. I was talking to a photographer, and she emailed me back and was like, Aubrey, you know you should be editing in Lightroom. It will speed up your time significantly. Wish someone had told me that earlier. I mean, it sped up my time like 300%. I'm so thankful for her still today for telling me that. So know that everything is edited to an extent. It doesn't mean that it's fake. It just means that, you know, when you want to make a cohesive feed, you want similar colors, you want similar white balance, and you just want it to look kind of the same. And editing is a huge part of that. Also know, be patient with yourself. Editing takes a lot of time to learn. I mean, I just sat down with Tessa this weekend, and we sat down with Carter Fisher. And in this meeting, we spent literally an hour. We paid Carter to meet with us for an hour to just talk about editing in Lightroom, because there's so much to it, and so many details and so many little things that can really affect your overall cohesiveness of your brand. So do that. Like, if you're confused and you don't know where to start, ask a photographer in your area, be like, can I intern with you? Or can I meet up and pay you? I mean, there's so many photographers on Instagram or content creators that are just starting out that would love to meet with you guys, and I think connecting is really important in this business. Second tip is everything is planned in advance, and this will really help you be successful in blogging. So all of my content personally is planned at least 2 days in advance. So this video I'm recording right now, it's Friday and it will go live next Wednesday. So that's what, 3 days in advance. Nothing is, for me at least, minus Instagram stories, is in real time. And like a few Instagrams here and there will be in real time, like if Matt and I are at a sporting event, then that will be in real time. But most of like the outfit photos, I'll shoot 4 at a time, and I'll shoot them a week in advance. And the reason for that is because if I were to shoot every day, I wouldn't be able to get anything done. This week, my mom and I were out shooting a ton. We actually shot 4 days in a row, and now my inbox is full. And now I have to spend today sitting here filming videos and doing my inbox and reaching out to you guys over Instagram and answering your DMs, because there's no way you could wake up, shoot every day for me personally, and still get the business side of the business completed, if that makes sense. So something that helps me a lot is I'll plan out my whole month's calendar and the outfits I want to shoot and the content I think I want to make, and then I'll go out and I'll shoot at least 3 outfits. I do not like shooting more than 1 outfit in a day, but for me it is the only way I can effectively stock up on content with my travel schedule. So if you follow the blog, then you know Matt and I live in Dallas, I shoot in New England, and then we travel in between that time period. So I'll spend 2 weeks in New England and I'll shoot all my content for those 2 weeks, and then I'll be in Dallas, and then I'll do all the business side for 2 weeks, and then I'll come back to New England, I'll shoot for 2 weeks, then I go to Dallas to be with Matt and business side for 2 weeks. And that's just how I make it work. And I think that's a good thing to know about blogging, is whatever you need to do to make it work, make it work. So if you can wake up every morning and shoot at dawn and edit everything that day and get it live, all the more power to you. Like, you are awesome. It just does not work that way for me. Matt's really busy, my mom's really busy, Tessa shoots with me, she does all the video and photography, and she's really busy. Obviously she's in high school, so she's busy Monday through Friday till 3 p.m. and then, you know, she's got to do SAT prep and all that stuff. So plan in advance. Plan is the only way. Planning everything out is the key to being consistent, and consistency is the key to success. So start by really having a game plan when you think about taking your blog to the next level, or even your Instagram account. I think the more you can plan in advance, the more success you'll see. Tip 3, I'm not always happy with my work. And I think that's something that not everyone talks about. But for me personally, I'm always growing and always changing. And sometimes I'll look at my feed and be like, And I think everyone around me can attest to that. I think Matt can attest to that. I think Tessa can attest to that. That I'm very much I always want to learn more editing. I always want to learn more video stuff. I always am looking to learn more about the industry, and that you can be looking at my feed and be like, oh, I wish I had Aubrey's feed, it looks great. But at the same time, I'm looking at my feed and saying, I don't like it, I'm not feeling it. And I can be really down on myself in that aspect, where if I see my feed and it's like, no, it's not where I want it to be, then I work really hard to schedule appointments with people like Carter and learn more in order to improve. And I think that's something to really keep in mind for you guys. Focus on yourself and don't so much look at what everyone else is doing, because what they're doing, they could feel they need to do better. And just focus on ways that you can improve. So I think a good thing to keep track is set goals of like where you want your feed to be, but also think about, okay, how am I going to get my feed there? So a big thing I wanted to work on is having more cohesive colors. And I was like, okay, well, how can I learn how to do this better? And I hire Carter, and then Tessa and I go to more lessons, and we learn more about editing and more about the color aspect of editing. And I think that in itself, having systems to accomplish your goals and know that I'm always growing and I'm not always happy with where I am, I think is just being honest with you guys. I think know that sometimes you're going to be down on your content and you might be down on yourself, and just keep going on. Like, express those feelings to others. I'll tell Tessa and Matt, I just don't feel it. I just don't like it. It's just not good. And they'll kind of say like, Aubrey, it's good. Like, people like it, and just keep going on, and always improve. So I think that's good to know, that I'm not always sitting on my high horse being like, I'm awesome. And in fact, it's often the opposite. I'm often very critical of what I'm doing and what I need to improve, which is a good and bad thing. And then another tip is asking for help. I found this to be huge. Reach out to bloggers. They are their best resource. I reached out to a blogger in Connecticut to intern, and she took me on when I was in college, and that was a huge resource. I really got to see what it was like in terms of recording finances, like how to record your expenses as a blogger. She taught me that, and those are all really valuable lessons. So whether you're reaching out to intern or reaching out to ask a question, I love when I get blog questions. I mean, especially the more specific you guys can be with what you want help in, the better it is for me. I'll get a lot of questions being like, how do I grow my following? I will, of course, always answer that. But if you have a really specific question of like, how do I do this? Or where do I look for coding? Or where do I buy a media kit? Those are all things that I love talking about. So please, please, please reach out. Ask for help. I'm never once bugged by any comment I get or any email. I love hearing from you guys. I mean, I was just emailing back and forth with a reader from Italy who's coming to New England to do like Nantucket, Martha Vineyard, Cape Cod, like a loop over all the New England towns. And I was like, this is what I live for. I live for giving you guys recommendations, sharing parts of New England, and sharing advice I have on blogging. So I think that's something to really know, is that reach out for help. And if someone doesn't email you back, reach out to someone else. You'd be shocked about the number of emails I never got responses from. Even today, as a blogger, I'll reach out to some bloggers and I'll never hear from them. And just know that some bloggers have such large followings that they can't get back to everyone, but that a lot of bloggers will, in fact, I think more likely than not, email you back and really share their experience. So always reach out. I mean, the worst they can say is either a no reply or no. And I always remember the bloggers that do reach back out, and that's important too. And finally, my last little behind the scenes of the blogging industry is collaboration is so key. I get so many emails being like, how do I grow my Instagram following? How do I reach more people? How do I blog full time? And I think the answer is you need to collaborate with your readers and you need to collaborate with your community. So you really need to reach out to other bloggers in your area and either do a giveaway with them or do a showcase. Well, maybe you blog on their blog and they blog on your blog, like a tit for tat. I loved this girl's blog. Her name's Jamie. I'll link her blog below. She's a baker in Florida. And last year she did a feature a month. So every month she would be on my blog featuring a recipe that she invented and how to like make it come to life, like the recipe. That is a great way. Her audience in Florida gets to meet my audience in New England. You guys get to meet a new blogger and she gets to meet new readers. I mean, it's a win-win for everyone. So I think with that being said, reach out to collaborate. I mean, I think know who you should reach out to is important, and know that some people might not be able to collaborate, and that's fine, because I can't say yes to every collaboration. Because I still have to provide you guys with New England content, so not every collaboration is gonna work for my brand. But I'd say about 50% of the time I say yes to collaborations, and they're always a success. I've never had a collaboration that flopped or failed or wasn't relevant. I mean, it is such a key part of being in this industry, and I think it's so underlooked. I think a lot of people are like focused on themselves and how they can get more following. But know that sharing your following with other bloggers and sharing your insight to their community is really beneficial to growing your site. So those are just some tips and tricks I have for getting started in the blogging community. I'm gonna leave a few links below of blog posts that I've written that are really helpful, including but not limited to how I edit my blog photos, how to do a media kit, which is a big one, and a few other ones I have, I think, about Instagram. I'll leave those all below down here. Make sure to subscribe because we're going to be doing weekly videos. This was just a really casual one. I mean, I filmed this without Tessa, so she's going to see this I did this all by myself, guys. I hope you like the setup. So this was a really casual one, but we have a few more formal videos coming that will be a lot of fun. So I hope this video was helpful and kind of showed you a little behind the scenes of blogging, and that blogging isn't a perfect career or sport. It's something that you have to really work at and learn the techniques over time. And it's not something that I always wake up every day and feel awesome about. Sometimes I really struggle with my content and how I want it to look, and it's just all a learning curve. So know that. And I'm really hoping to connect with you guys more and more on Instagram. I've been trying to use that platform a lot with Instagram stories and more behind the scenes. So if you want to see more of our day-to-day life on the TCC crew, please follow the Instagram. We'll put it here. And leave a comment that you came from YouTube, because I would love to see more YouTube followers following over there. And again, hopefully I see some of you guys from Instagram over here. Thank you for following along, and we can't wait to bring you more videos every Wednesday. Again, can't wait to have you guys follow along. Make sure to subscribe, and we will have new videos for you guys every Wednesday. Bye!